Here's our brand new lock here. Everyone comes with that. It's just instructions on how to put the core into the handle. Front housing, battery, strike, spare parts, front handle, and back handle.
Junk.
Put that away for a moment. Alright. So, unbag everything. Put those over there for a moment. Alright, so to start your project, you need
A Charlie.
a Charlie, yes. So you need the core, you need the key that goes in the core that actually turns. This one's a little tight, we're going to work with it. So in here is this little spindle with the two little notches. A little hard to see, but there are two notches on the left and right side. That is the way this comes in the box. That is the way it needs to be when we're done. With it in that position, this little keeper is locked in place, which will hold the handle on. I'm using the key and the core to turn this 90 degrees, a little more, clockwise, and that pushes that up. So 90 degrees clockwise, pushes that up.
In a quarter turn.
Quarter turn.
On.
He's videoing for these guys.
I'm then going to load up my handle with my core and this little black spacer. There is a little screw in there. It is not ideally for tightening down against here. You back that little screw into this hole and it would hold everything in place. This lock is a right, so I'm going to hold this in my right hand with this in the center. Put the key into the handle, turn it 90 degrees clockwise to match what we did here. Put it on to the lock. Make sure that your core matches up with the spindle and 90 degrees counterclockwise, and pull out. Now that's locked on. And pushing up in here will not pull that out. To get this handle back off, use your key, put the key back in, turn 90 degrees clockwise, a little more. Use something to push that up, and it comes back off. And do that. Alright. I'm going to put my cap on here. Get both prongs into there at once and press down firmly. I'm going to take my battery. So this is for the 790 from the Ilco side of Kaba. When you insert the battery, they'll give you a green light if you've done your handle properly. If you've done your handle improperly, they'll give you a red light.
Oops.
And it will continue flashing until you fix the problem.
And what is the problem?
The problem is, I use my key to get the handle off here. So the problem is, your spindle is in the wrong position. So, simulating that I have my handle in the wrong position, which is possible. Insert the battery. I'll give you a red flashing light until you have corrected your problem.
And the spindle is in the correct position.
Put that back on. Find my battery screw, which is just a 15 Torx.
This is going on YouTube. It's going to get 1 million hits.
Nah, likely. YouTube, yes. 1 million hits, no. Alright. Then this has two positions, square, diamond. Has to go on the diamond. The little notches on the side do not matter. This will only go in one way. So this little thing is shaped like a football, as is this. It will not go in any other way. Put that in there and snap it in. This particular lock has a weather seal. I'm going to put the weather seal on here. The bottom does have a notch lined up with the battery, and this part is done. So for the back, this is a right. I'm going to hold it like this. Handle goes off to my right. I am then putting the spring on, coming in from the top, hooking like that, and hooking onto that hole. And if I've messed up my handing, I can just pull this off here and flip it over. Alright, back handle is done. And that is all you need to do for assembly. Now, we're going to pause that.
Recording.
Alright, so now, seat the mortise case in there. Use the screws you need to put it into the door.
Make sure it's not upside down.
Deadbolt goes up. Face plates. Faceplate screws. None of these, if you have a ratcheting drill, none of these screws need more than 1 or 2 clicks. Alright, so now, your front housing. Just insert your spindles into the holes on the mortise case. And it should not be hard to push this in here. If it is, you're binding up on your studs, and it will cause some binding on your handles. And cover plates to cover up all the previous holes. Alright, when you're putting the back on, the thumb turn has to be pointed up for ADA compliance. Alright, before I tighten anything down, I get all of this in here finger tight. And for places with plates, it helps to align the plate properly on the back. And then hold it. Should all be nice and free. Couple clicks. Alright. Now, that works nice. That works. Every now and then you'll get some binding on your deadbolt and or your handle. Usually it's because you have misalignment in your screws and your stud holes. If I have binding on my deadbolt, for whatever reason, I haven't figured out why, if I throw the deadbolt and hit right here, it loosens up my deadbolt a lot. Now if your handle is not turned, so if it goes down and it's not coming back out, or just staying down, you have a misalignment, and you can usually fix it by finding the direction you need to realign it properly. Or if none of that is working, you may have messed up the holes for the spindle going through here. It's not big enough, and it is binding on the collars
Inside the door.
exactly.
Good?
I think so.